Welcome to the community garden. This plot right here is the giant pumpkin plot. About a month ago, it was clear weeds because I weeded it. But now, woo-wee, is it full. I'm here with my friend Steph. We are doing the social distance gardening. That's Steph at Garden by the Sound. Gardens? Garden? Are you garden or gardens?
Gardens.
By the Sound, right?
No, garden.
Garden by the Sound. There we go. On Instagram. She's got some beautiful pictures and a beautiful garden. And she's just getting hers all weeded up. And I'm about to do the same to plant the pumpkins today. So better get to work. So here's a different view of the pumpkin plot. Behind me, that's my friend Steph's 3 plots she shares with our other friend Hillary, and they've got this super cool little pattern of walk your pattern of your what do you call those, burlap sacks and such. So they've outlined that as a great weed barrier, and they've got this super cool bean teepee. What all did you plant on it?
We put nasturtiums, scarlet runner beans.
Oh, and look, there's a nasturtium. You can't see from there, and I'm not going to go over there so we can keep apart, but there's a nasturtium that's popping up that self-seeded over there, right in the perfect spot. Sorry to interrupt
Yeah,
you.
no, that's cool. And then we put in sugar magnolia peas, Oregon sugar pods, etc., etc. And
What
this year,
were those purple ones?
magnolia.
Oh, beautiful.
They were so
gorgeous.
good, and they made the best pickles.
Oh, pickled peas. I've never even thought of that.
They were so good.
Wow. Did you do a quick pickle?
Yep, just a quick refrigerator pickle.
Ooh.
They were great.
Did you blanch them first?
Nope.
Ooh. That sounds really good. I've got some store-bought peas
They
in
were
my...
great. The whole
Yeah.
process took...
Ooh.
It took longer to pick the peas than it did to pickle them.
Oh. What kind of seasonings did you use?
Garlic, peppers, like red chili flakes, and dill. That was it.
Awesome. I need to seed some dill. I'm going to plant some dill. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but I need some. Forgot what I was doing. Huh. Oh, the rhubarb. Ah! Oh, so my wheelbarrow's full and it has a flat tire. So I got to get this big old wheelbarrow emptied out into our compost pile. I'll take you on a walk through the garden so you can check everything out. Steph's got a wheelbarrow full over there. She's working so hard to get her space cleaned out. It just looks so beautiful with all the flowers they have up right now. And is that garlic or onion? What? Chives. Oh,
Yeah, chives. And chives.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Their garden is always full of bees all the time. I love it. Absolutely love it. Some top-notch bee attractors over there. Right, so I'm starting at the east end of our community garden here, and I'm just going to kind of walk you guys through this space to check out what's going on. This is another garden plot of mine that I foolishly thought I could, when school was first announced it was closed, I thought, oh, I could host a garden school for kids once a week out here, and it'd be okay since we're outside and yada yada, but that never happened just because it was not kosher to have all those kids together, and my workload as a teacher just really took off. But now I'm going to be growing some mostly winter squashes here, and I'm going to be growing some long beans that I have some seeds for. I'm super excited. I was going to be building this today, but the weeding really needs to happen first, and I didn't bring the hammer anyways, so no way I'm getting those posts in. So I don't know who the neighbor is here, but a new neighbor just signed up for this plot. Look at those artichokes. They're so huge, and they are already have some nice flower heads on there. So beautiful. Let's see, I count 3 of them on there right now. Pretty mature plant. We've also got some other mature herbs back there. And there's my pumpkin patch and my neighbor's patch. This neighbor has a lot of herbs that have been here for a good while. The bees were just on these like crazy the other day. Oh, there was one. The rain just stopped maybe like an hour or so ago. So hopefully the bees will come out. Ooh, she's got some good looking broccoli right here. I am jealous. Wow. Okay. What else do we got? They are making some sort of trellis for something, not sure what. All these raspberries just get loaded. We always sneak some when we walk by from the other side. More artichokes. This is the children's garden right here. There's strawberries, artichokes, huge rhubarb, and I guess it's just kind of like a community managed plot for kids to use. Is that right, Steph? Yeah. So these are all, you know, super mature perennials. So it's not something that you would want to be turning over to a new gardener over and over each year. And they might, because it takes a long time to establish these plants. So people just tend to it and love on it. It gets some gorgeous artichoke on there. You can see one. And here's Steph's borage. What's the orange stuff? Calendula? Oh yeah, it's got the bees on it now.
I know there's one right here, and I'm trying to work, and I'm afraid.
Oh, it's beautiful. Sorry, I couldn't resist that. All right, here we've got the community seating area. Right behind me is our tool area. Or a lot of times people might leave something there that, you know, other people could use. Handy little meeting spot. Then this side over here has raised beds, so people can choose raised beds to have as well. And then that's kind of the end of it over there. Hello! It's looking good. What's that? So there's our community garden is located at this church, and there's this little seating area with a fire pit there. Last year the garden group had a potluck. Don't think that'll happen this year, but that doesn't mean that we couldn't have a fire there if we wanted to. Some sheds. The whole garden's got this fence around it. Some sneaky bunnies and other critters still find their way in there. Steph really struggled with rodent damage last year, and she had put up a temporary fencing that she's taken down right now. She decided not to use because those dang things just still found their way in by digging really deep. Yeah, so back here, this is the area where there are some bees that somebody comes and takes care of, and our big compost pile. This compost, I think as like a community chore, I might empty it out to the other one because there's a few people over here that garden that have really bad backs and knees, and I know one lady in particular, it's really difficult for her to get back up to the compost area, so I thought that could be helpful for her. There's some fruit trees here, but I don't know what they're... Hey Steph, do these produce much fruit?
The first tree closest to you had a whole bunch, they've been pruned. But anyway, it had a whole bunch of really, really tart plums.
Oh!
Like they're not good to eat with. You can cook with them. I made salsa with them. It was good. But yeah, I don't.
Okay. They need some loving. So this is where the bees are kept, and there's someone, like I said, that comes and takes care of it all. and is a beekeeper in the area. They don't garden here though. And then up this way, Steph and I were just talking that our community compost pile needs some attention. It's just these boards have all come out for the wheelbarrow and it's just getting full and filled in. But I don't know, we're not sure what to do. Find a new compost home and get this one taken care of. Any suggestions on what to do here? Many of you people that have large compost piles or community gardens, we'd love some tips. So these are all Himalayan blackberries. They give us some nice berries and looks like they stay pretty well maintained. Like the edge of them, they don't really creep into this grass too much. There's a volunteer that mows the grass all the time. Such a beautiful place to spend time. It's been a very productive last hour or so. Got this mostly weeded and I've just been having the best time social distancing with my friend over here. First time seeing her in months, so I'm having a great time. At the back of the plot, this is Bruce's pumpkin plot. This is where I grew the giant pumpkin last year, and I planted it right back here, and it grew down the plot and had its secondary vines going out towards the edges of the plot. And the fruit ended up growing just right here. You can't see the front edge, I'll show you in a bit. Right here, the front of the plot, and was just a really nice showpiece to have sitting in here. And this was covered in zinnias, so it was just gorgeous. Yeah, so here, this rhubarb though, as much as I love it, it really takes up a lot of my space here in the back and lets weeds grow out. Fight a lot of weeds along this fence line. So I'm just gonna trim this back a ton. I'm not even gonna save any of the rhubarb today just because I'm crunched on time. Normally I would save it, chop it up and bring it home and freeze it, but it's gonna grow plenty between now and when I make my strawberry rhubarb jam, so I'm not stressing. Just gonna get rid of it. Steph's over there just chopping up her plot. We were just talking about how, check out these gorgeous flowers. Anyways, we were just talking about how we both weeded all these plots, you know, back in January. Oh, there was no weeds. And wow, a lot of growth has happened since then, but that's all right. All right, everybody, this bed is as weed free as it's gonna get for today. I really need to come back there. That's where all of those creepy, sneaky weeds come from, and get all that grass removed. I just watched Steph do that for like 2 hours and it just tired me out just watching her, so I'm not doing it today. But what I am doing is planting the giant pumpkin. So this pumpkin is not Bruce. It's not the pumpkin, the same lineage as the pumpkin I grew last year. It's not the seed that I started. This, my dad started, and he started it sooner than mine. It's a different lineage to try, and he had an extra. So I'm gonna plant this, and then I'm gonna plant Bruce over in my other plot and just try to get some flowers and maybe cross-pollinate with this one. Haven't fully decided yet, but Bruce is definitely going to be planted as well, just not in the bed that's going to grow the pumpkin. So I just amended the soil with some more steer manure and just doing it right now down the middle because this is where the main vine's going to grow. And I'm going to plant the pumpkin right about here. I like to keep it, I could go back farther, but that soil's not amended as well, and that's where the weeds creep in, so I just want to steer clear of that. So I'm going to plant it right here, and I'm going to direct the vine just to go all the way down the middle, but I wanted to show you how you know how to direct the vine. So it's getting a little more difficult to tell because the plant is older now. These are the seeds that, or these are obviously not seeds. These are the first leaves that come out of the seed. Are those called cotyledons? Cotyl, but we're on the right track, right? Okay, at least we're on the right track there. So those are not the true leaves. The first true leaf on this is obviously this largest leaf right here. And when you are planting a vining squash or type crop, like a pumpkin or a squash, your main vine is going to grow in the opposite direction of your first true leaf. So this is my first true leaf, so the vine's going to be coming this way. So when I plant this, I'm not going to plant it backwards and then have to train the vine around in a circle. I'm going to plant it with the first true leaf facing the opposite direction that I want the plant to go. It's also in a little peat pot, so I'm going to rip off probably like the top inch of that, just so that it's not poking out of the ground and drying the plant out, because it can do that. But I'm going to do that over there once I'm in the soil. So I just kind of wanted to show you that and show you the plot, and now I'm going to get this little guy planted. Okay, I'm ready. Actually, I'm not really ready, to be honest, because I ran out of fertilizer, the fertilizer I wanted to use. I've got this, maybe like a half a cup of this all-purpose organic fertilizer. It's all I've got left. I do have some blood meal. So this is a high nitrogen fertilizer, and this is going to be getting a ton of high nitrogen fertilizer until I'm ready for it to start setting fruits. So I'm going to add this in there. I'm going to use this, and then I'm just going to, when I purchase another bag of fertilizer, got to get out to a store, I'm going to work it into the soil down the main vine line, and I'll mix that in, I'll mix it into the soil around here before those roots really get too far. So I'll be able to get some in there. And then most of my fertilization throughout the summer is done through a liquid fertilizer. So it's not like this is the only fertilizer this thing's gonna get. But I wish I had some more. All right, so this soil's been all worked up already, and I'm just gonna pour everything I got in here. This needed to be used up. It got a little wet, I left it out. I will say, as a gardener, I'm not so good at putting things away when I should, and I'm very lucky that my husband is kind enough to clean up after me most of the time. But I'm working hard to start cleaning up after myself. So there's always good to have goals, right, Steph?
Always. Or a husband.
What's that?
I said or a husband.
Yes, or a husband. Or spouse. Yeah. Alright, so here comes the nitrogen. Gonna get that kind of all around this area. That was a quarter cup of that blood meal. Get that worked in. I'll add that as the vine grows out too, with the all-purpose fertilizer, to keep it supplied. Okay, gonna give it a go. It's still sprinkling a little bit, so it's like a perfect day. I wish it was a little bit warmer, but you know, it's hard to get down here and water this for me. I mean, it's not that hard. I could walk here, it's pretty close. But I've got the garden at my house that I tend to. I've got my children that I should tend to. So any natural watering, I appreciate. Okay, so back to how you plant it. The first true leaf is right here, and it's pointing the opposite direction. So I am going to get her down in there, mount it up on a little hill. Nothing big. All right, well, this yet to be named pumpkin is planted in the ground and ready to grow. I'll be planting the Bruce lineage pumpkin in my other plot when I get around to it, and hopefully soon. So I'll be taking it back to my house then today to kind of nurture it and take care of it until I'm ready to pot it or plant it. Right now I'm just kind of making a ring around that hill, a little trough, a little moat, a little pumpkin moat. to just hold any water in right now, because you know the roots are going to be pretty shallow right now, and this will just help keep that water nice and concentrated where I need it now. And it's ready. So next up, I got to empty this wheelbarrow into the compost, and I think it's time for me to go home and hang out with the family. Yeah, what a beautiful garden here. It is such a gorgeous place. Steph's over there emptying her haul. It's kind of satisfying to have these huge wheelbarrows full of stuff to yank out. She took out a lot of her borage, and her plot is just looking gorgeous right now. What a great day. I hope you have a fabulous day.